Good morning, guys. Let us continue with our discussion. Our previous discussion discussed the contribution of Great Economic Depression to the rise of dictatorship. Also, it's discussed the areas where fascism and Nazism spread. So today we continue with the impact of fascism and Nazism in the world. The impact of fascism and Nazism in the world. So the eruption of fascism and Nazism in Germany and Italy led to the main impact on the world as follows. One was the eruption of the Second World War. So fascism and Nazism as a dictatorship ideology contributed much to the eruption of the Second World War, especially from 1939 up to 1945. And this was because of this dictatorship ideology increased the aggressive to other nations, something which led to the rise of the war. Another was expansionism policies. Fascism and Nazism exercised the expansionism policies whereby many countries were attacked by Italy and Germany. So in the process of expanding and spreading their ideology, they tend to expand to many nations. For example, in 1936, Italy and Germany invaded the Spanish Republic. Also, they spread to other nations. Another impact was the collapse of the League of Nations. The collapse of the League of Nations. So, fascism and Nazism contributed much to the collapse of the League of Nations, whereby these policies were the causes of the threat to the world peace. As a result, the League of Nations failed to hinder these policies. So what was discussed during the Versailles Peace Treaty was the formation of the League of Nations, which had the aim of maintaining the world peace and security. But due to the dictatorship ideology which is spread by fascism and Nazism, they increased the aggressive or increased power, something which threatened the world peace and the security, while the League of Nations failed, something which led to the collapse of this organization. Another was mass killing. Also, the fascism and Nazism led to the mass killing. So fascism and Nazism contributed much to the occurrence of deaths to many people, especially those who were against these dictatorship policies. For example, in Germany, more than 6 million Jews were being killed by Adolf Alois Hitler. Another impact was the racial segregation. So fascism and Nazism increased or contributed to the racial segregation, whereby the natives in those nations which applied dictatorship segregated the foreigners. For example, in Germany, the Germans segregated Jews in the area called Sobibo, and they were discriminated. Another impact of fascism and Nazism was the development of industry. So these two policies succeeded to revive the industrial which was being affected, especially during the First World War. So Italy and Germany were being affected much during the First World War. But after the rise of dictatorship ideology, these policies and their leaders decided to improve industry through construction of different industry and introducing industrial policies which favored the industry, something which led to the development of industry. Another impact of fascism and Nazism was the suppression of communism. So fascism and Nazism was totally against communism. So they were totally against communism, hence the communist leaders were being killed and the communist parties were being banned, something which threatened this development of communism. For example, in Germany, Benito Mussolini. In Germany, Hitler decided to suppress totally communism which is spread in Germany, and to ensure the development of capitalism. And the last was the suppression of religion. So under dictatorship ideology, the dictatorship leaders were totally against religion. So churches were being banned and closed, while the religious leaders were being killed. According to them, they believed that churches were the source of laziness. So to ensure that those religious leaders were being killed and the churches were being closed. Thank you for listening. So next time, thank you for listening to these first parts. So let's now also discuss the impact of fascism and Nazism on Africa. This will be our next lecture. Thank you.